He walked up the path, his boots crunching on the thin layer of icy snow. The scent of pine from the wreath on the door hit him on the steps. Since Mrs. Gilbert had taken a shine to him years ago, he gave a hard rap on the door, opened it, and walked in calling out, "Hey, Mrs. Gilbert, it's me, Dexs." "Well, hey yourself, handsome. I'm in the kitchen. Come on back." Dexs walked through the house feeling as comfortable as he did in his own grandmother's place. Mrs. Gilbert sat at the table smiling at him with an odd look in her eyes that sent a shiver running up his spine. He gave her a friendly peck on the cheek and sat across from her. Her hands trembled a bit before she brought the mug of tea up to her lips for a sip. Lemon and the scent of something else hung in the air, teasing his senses, making him think he should remember that sweet smell. "I saw a moving truck at the house." Mrs. Gilbert eyed him intently. "Now that the work is finished, it's time the house had some life in it," she said with a smile. "A family's exactly what that place needs." "It's certainly big enough for one. I hope your tenant can cover the mortgage you must have needed for such a large addition." The house had been left to Mrs. Gilbert free and clear upon the Swains' deaths. "The insurance paid for the major damage. Abigail paid the rest." The mention of her name made his gut ripple. It was his fault Mrs. Gilbert hadn't seen her granddaughter in 10 years. And yet, she'd hired him as her lawyer and treated him like family. He didn't deserve her generosity or her friendship, but she offered him both without reservation. He had a million questions he'd like to ask, but the day Mrs. Gilbert hired him and he asked about getting in touch with Abigail, she shut him down with an unequivocal, "I can't tell you where she is or how to get in touch with her." He'd wanted to push, but something in her sad and wary eyes warned him to let it go even if he didn't want to. Sticking to business, Dexs took the papers out of his briefcase and placed them on the table in front of her. "Sign on the dotted line. The house and property will be Abigail's." Her name stuck in his throat. She signed the papers, and that odd feeling crept over him again. "Do you need my help with a rental agreement for the new tenant?" "I didn't rent it. She's moving in." His world rocked off center. She? This swell in his heart told him how much he wanted to believe it true. "Hello, Dexs." "Abby." Her familiar, soft, husky voice stopped his heart. Her sweet scent, the one teasing his memory since he'd walked in the door, wrapped around him. It took him back to that motel room and the smell of her in the room, on the sheets, on his skin. He stood slowly and turned to face her. His brain didn't want to believe she was really standing there staring at him. All thoughts fled, except for the simple fact that she was more beautiful today than she'd been 10 years ago. Her dark hair disappeared behind her shoulders, hanging down her back in soft waves. Gone was the simple braid she'd always worn. He scanned from her beautiful face down her curved and rounded body to her hips and long legs snug in a pair of tight jeans. No long, drab-colored skirt. Her full breasts rounded in the V of her red blouse. The sleeves ruffled over her shoulders in a soft, sheer material. The pretty blouse suited her far more than those long-sleeved, button-up-to-her-neck shirts she used to wear. Her bright, golden-brown eyes glistened in the light, so pretty and intent on him. The shy girl he used to know stood before him now as a confident, beautiful woman. He stood stunned by her beauty and the complete unreality of the moment. He'd waited so long to have the opportunity to see her again, to tell her so many things, all of them lodged in his throat at the sight of her. Something inside him clicked back into place after all these years of being lodged off-center. He closed the distance between them, wrapped his arms around her, and crushed her to his chest. "Abby." Her name came out sounding like a plea, a promise, a wish, a gift. Abigail's hand slipped from his back around to his chest. Her fingers clutched his shirt a second before she pushed back and stepped out of his arms. He took her hand, his fingers sliding over the puckered scar. He stared at the slash marks on both her hands and one forearm. Abigail pulled her hand away, tucked both hands behind her back, and with a nervous smile, ignored the questioning look he gave her and said, "Congratulations, Dexs. You've really made something of yourself. I always knew you would. You took your scholarship and the promise of a bright future and ran with them. You graduated top of your class in both